Hello everyone. Well, we've got to that final stage with the Constructicons where they all combine to form the mighty Devastator. Now, I've got them positioned in relation to where they'll go body wise. So what I'll do is I'll start from the top down, I think, with Devastator. I think it's probably the best way around to show you how he connects together and what the relevant parts do. Now I've laid out all of the parts that you'll need to form Devastator. Obviously there's still their little guns and odd missiles and things like that, but they don't really take any part of the actual Devastator toy. So first of all, let's start with Hook. Now most of them, you'll need them in their vehicle mode anyway. You don't need them in robot mode to form Devastator. Now to start with him, just lift up his jib out of the way slightly, pull him right apart on the sliding joints. Now at this point, swing out this little metal peg, because you need that pointing out that way. And then what you've got to do is you've got to turn him on himself, so he's been sort of like almost like bent in half like that. So his front cab is now looking at the back end of his, I suppose you'd call it truck end, I don't know, the back end of the truck, crane. Anyway, so he's bent in half like so. You can then lower the jib back down, and that basically has formed the top shoulders of Devastator. Now from this stage you can do several things. Now the next main one I would say would be to clip on Devastator's head. I know usually you leave a head reveal till the end, but you kind of need him to tie things together. So where you got Devastator's head like so, where you got this purple sliding sort of section, that of course slides in on the back of Hook like so, just pushes on, just sort of like got that little bit of tightness to it, and just line it up to the middle, and that basically forms the top of Devastator. So you've got his head slid on onto the back like so. Pretty basic, pretty simple, but locks it all nice and solid. You know, there's nothing coming loose there. So that's Hook sorted out. Now we take, I'm going to have to just double check names because I'm confusing myself. Now we've got to take Bone Crusher. Now again, you want him in his sort of bulldozer mode, and basically all you've got is a little black hole on this sort of peg underneath. I'll get the light on it, and there you see a square hole there, and that little metal peg, what I said about earlier, just literally pushes in there. So you just want to push that onto there, but you want him turned, so I've done it around the wrong way, but he does turn round, and you want him turned so that he shovels at the top, and then at that stage you can then fit on, I think I've done them, have I done them the wrong way round? Possibly I have. Yeah. I'm going to swap the fists round. You then want, ironically, I think it's, hold on, let's see which way we're going. No, actually I did it right the first time. That's why things get confusing. Where you've got this connection on the end of the arm, you need the hollow end on the, let me think, or was I right? No, I was right. You do need his own arm, sorry. You do need the double peg holes sideways like that, so that the hollow part of the peg at the top of the arm goes onto the peg under Bone Crusher. You just push that on, and then you can slide in his left fist, and that locks in, and you've got Devastator's left arm. Now putting that down, we'll then take Oh, names escape me. Scavenger. Now again, pretty much basically you're doing the same sort of thing. You can extend his arm jib sort of like that, but some people just fold it up. It's a matter of personal preference. I kind of tuck it up out the way like so. You've got to do the same thing again. So you've got the hole on the top of the arm and the post at the front, a bit like when I showed you where you could use it this way, almost like as a front drill in vehicle mode. And again, plug the fist in, and that effectively is his right arm. But what you've got to do is just lift up his tracks, like if you was going to transform him, and you've got a metal section here which just lifts up and forms a post, and then close the tracks back. Now that pin there goes into that slot there in the side of hook, and that just slides in like that, and that locks in nice and solidly. Now it does mean, unfortunately, that you can't turn Scavenger. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, you can't turn Scavenger in his arm socket, which is a little bit of a shame because you can with Bone Crusher, but you can of course bend him at the elbow, so you know, the swings and roundabouts a little bit with them. You can sort of like get happy medium so that they look similar in position. Again, as I said, you can sort of straighten down his hook like so, but I kind of think you may as well just have it stuck up there out the way. Anyway, we're getting his top half pretty much done. If we then put him down and out of the way from it, we'll then concentrate on his legs. Now, getting the names right again, you get Scrapper, and again in vehicle mode, all you've got to do is push his bucket up like that till it stops, and turn his arms down like so, and they tend to sort of almost lock in a position forward like so, and that is effectively his right leg. Now they've got to be done this way. You can't swap them around like some of the other combiners, because this hip section only fits one way round. So what you've got to do is take this double post section here, and that pushes on and into the back end. Let me just get that right, so that you've got to get the green part lined up inside those posts, but underneath that little bit in between, and you've got to push that in, and then just push the bottom end in, and that clips into the gap between what is effectively his legs, and that's him locked in position. Now he's got no articulation, which is a little bit of a shame, but again, G1 combiner, and this you've got to understand is the first of the combiners from the G1 line, so they were finding their feet with them a little bit. Now we'll take Mixmaster, who is of course the other leg, his left leg, and you've got to turn the cab section, if you can get it to turn, would be handy, wouldn't it? You've got to turn it, oh, it's being temperamental, it was doing this earlier. You've got to turn it like so, like when we was doing his feet. Hold on. Oh, this is why I love G1. It's trying to get it to go where you want it to, but without snapping some, getting on for 30-year-old plastic parts. Oh, come on, play ball. I'll have to just do this off camera a second. sorry about this, folks. It's just one of those things where he just doesn't want to do what I want him to do. Now he's got, that's it, sorry, I'm trying to do something wrong there. What you got to do is pull the cab section forward, which isn't part of his transformation, which is where it caught me out, and then spin it like so, and that's all it was. What was sort of confounding me was the fact his chrome grille was just popping off, and I was thinking that was something to do with the turning of it. But there you go, that's what you got to do, is turn his cab section around like so, and then finally we can then plug his back end of the truck, being careful with the rub sign, into position on that. It just pushes in like so, clips in again solidly, and you've got Devastator's legs. Now taking long haul, I believe that's right, yeah, long haul, you just need to fold him round like so, and long haul is going to form sort of the abdomen of Devastator. Fold down his head out of the way, and just, you've sort of effectively just bent him in half like so. Now this middle section pushes up and in between the chrome sections of his legs, and you've got to sort of push it up and in, and it goes with a bit of a click, that's it. It just pops in, and the other parts just clip in behind those little pin sort of sections which are on the tipper part, which is the pin what actually hinges his legs, and that just sort of locks it all in behind, and that is his abdomen and legs sorted. Now all you've got to do is just put on his waist plate, which I believe just pegs in. I'm just trying to locate height wise where it goes. Just pegs in underneath long haul's front section there on that little peg at the top, and that just pushes up into a groove like so and stays quite solid, a little bit forward of the body but not too bad. Then all what's left to do is to use the holes, I'll bring that in closer, the holes there and the peg there to go in the hole on the top of long haul's cab, and the light exhaust pipe of his engine sort of there, and they just line up and push on, and then that's pretty much Devastator almost formed. All you've got to do is get his chest piece, and you've just got one peg on the front there, and you just got to peg it into the right section, and if we get that just sort of positioned correctly, it forms his chest piece. And of course all what's left to do is pop his gun in to his hands. Now that is G1 Devastator. Now I'll bring him in so you can have a bit more of a look round him. Pretty good as a Gestalt. A little bit sort of strange that he's got these green gun bits sticking up from his legs. They could have done without that. A little bit more articulation would have been nice if they'd have done some kind of joints so you could have bent the legs, or sort of almost like added some knees, because where it actually is a bit lower than his waist. Head unfortunately doesn't turn, and as I said, sort of like Scavenger can't be turned due to the way he's pegged on, but at least on Bone Crusher's side you can actually turn him, but of course now he's a little bit restricted by his shield part as well on his chest. So a good combiner, one I'd recommend picking up if you can get the original. Obviously that's that bit nicer. They do obviously do the encores, but when you get him together, he makes some rattly noises due to sort of like the freewheeling sort of wheels on the vehicle side, but he doesn't fall to bits. he's quite a good one in sort of robot mode. Size comparison, I suppose I should bring something in. I use the same Legends class figure that I've been using to give you a rough idea, and they kind of work in scale. So if you had Legends class Optimus Primes and Megatrons and that, he's about right for them now. You know, going by like the G1 cartoon, this is about the sort of size and scale that Devastator was in relation to the normal Transformers. So yeah, that kind of works. A lot of people do away with having this green missile on the side of his head. I've only sort of left it on just to show you. I wouldn't normally display it with that on, simply for the fact it's just a bit silly. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much G1 Devastator. If you've got any questions or you want to know anything else or a little bit of detail about him, you know, please feel free to drop me a message and I shall get back to you. Maybe not straight away, depending on, you know, what time your message is and if I'm in, but I will always answer anybody's questions if I can. But yeah, that's pretty much G1 Devastator. It's been one of the figures that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, but it does take obviously a bit of time when you're doing the individual component transformers and then the main figure as such. As a comparison to the modern Devastator, well, this guy's got more playability than that one I got from the boot fair. The gimmicks of the one from the boot fair are quite nice in the modern Devastator with the lights and sounds and obviously where it speaks, but transformation wise this beats that one hands down. And obviously you can pick up aftermarket parts for this guy which obviously enhance him as well. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I can sort of think of offhand to say about him. So I shall leave it there. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to subscribe if this is the first review you've come across. Please feel free to look back on the other ones to see the individual component parts of Devastator and any other Transformers I might have already reviewed. Feel free to comment and feel free to rate as well. Anyway, that's enough for me, and we've come to the end of the G1 Devastator, so I shall see you again, and thanks for watching.